Hello and welcome to another X-Ray.tech video. I'm Tom Nasser, the Automation Alchemist, and today we're going to talk about the phases of automation. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are workflow automations. It takes time before you can fully automate a process. In this video, I'll explain how automations grow over time, and I'll highlight the criteria you need to move from one phase of automation to the next. So let's get into it. When you first build an automated workflow, many of the steps will still require manual input. You may need to grab data from different sources and manually enter that data into surveys to create an item with automation. An early phase client onboarding automation might require you to manually enter the client's name, the main point of contact, their kickoff date, and other information into the survey. Then the automation will create some folders, a Slack channel, meeting docs, and other assets. An early phase automation will save you some time, but will still require a bit of manual input. And that's okay, because you're still creating a much more consistent process and you have the ability to expand the automation to take on more of the workload over time. A later phase automation will involve much less manual work. Instead of finding and entering the data yourself, the automation will find the information it needs from your databases or other apps. Returning to our client onboarding example, a more mature version of this automation would eliminate most or all of the manual steps. It would actually find the client's name and other information from a database, which could be populated from another automation connected to your email or CRM. The whole set of automations could run whenever you mark a client as closed won in your CRM, or by simply completing a survey with one or two questions. With a later phase automation, you'll see greater time savings and even more consistent and reliable output. At the same time, your team will barely have to do any manual work to make all of these automations run. At this point, you might be wondering why we don't start with a fully automated solution in the first place. A fully automated process saves a lot more time, so why even bother with the semi-automated phases? Ultimately, it comes down to data. Before you can fully automate a process, you need to have clean, consistent, and accurate data. If the data in your workflow is coming from many different sources in different formats and at different times, you'll need to build a highly complex automation just to process and clean all of this data. In these cases, it's much more efficient to start by automating whatever steps are already consistent enough to support automation and use human judgment to gather the messier data points. Over time, you can improve your data funnels to collect more consistent and accurate information, which you can use inside of your automations. What starts as a manual process will eventually become fully automated, or something that happens with just a click of a button. When you first build an automation, it will probably be somewhat limited in scope. It will absolutely save you some time and make your process a little bit more consistent, but there will be a lot of room to grow. As you make your data cleaner, more accurate, and more consistent, you'll be able to automate more steps in your workflow. Eventually, you might even be able to automate the entire process from start to finish. So don't worry if your initial automation efforts aren't producing massive time savings. Automation is an iterative process, not a one-time fix. Just focus on getting the right data and you'll achieve your automation goals one step at a time. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you'd like to learn more about no-code and low-code automation, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can find all of our content on our website at xray.tech. You can check out all those links in the description down below, and as always, don't forget, keep the flow.